right, so after we've just been demonetized forever again, let's move on to some positive things, because none of that was negative really about the Leafs, honestly. And I think that last game, even though it ended 5-4, the game was 5-2. I don't care what happened in between then. That, like, we were missing 4 guys to our lineup, and not just any guys.
That's Sandy and Marner Dermott.
Yeah. And Steve's comes in, Rubens comes in. Rubens looked fine. Steve, he tried some things, which I always like seeing from a guy who's like coming up, because usually they're going to like overcompensate. They'll, pass it when they don't need to. They'll kind of like rush. The guy was trying to dangle and stuff. And it was just like, it was cool to see. Yeah, he might as well. And he's trying
especially because he knows he's not going to like earn a spot right now. Yeah. But it's like, maybe it's like a more like, oh, remember that Steve's guy, what he was doing?
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's not earning a spot. I don't think there's this fucking possibility that guy earns a spot in 3 weeks in the lineup.
No, especially with Mikheyev probably coming back anytime now. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So, and Joey Anderson looked fine. I think he'll be a fringe, and he'll be kind of like an Adam Brooks kind of guy, like if you need him, but if he gets claimed off waivers, it's, we had to trade away Jansson's cap hit anyways. But Ho-Sang, I'm putting a question mark after that. I
think you just wait. Someone's gonna get injured, right? We see it now. Someone's gonna be out, right? And someone's gonna be out. Let's say it's 6 or 8 or 4 weeks from the playoffs. If we're in first place, you put him on the team. You fucking put the other guy on the injured reserve too long. Wait till the playoffs. No cap hit. GG. Oh, seriously.
Tampa style.
It's like, well, it's Tampa-ish, but like, it's just smart, right? Like, if anyone goes down, you just go, okay, sign Ho-Sang. Okay, come on up. You're gonna get good for the playoffs. And then you have like a Galchenyuk, but kind of better version of a guy who can slot in the top 6 if you need that, if you don't need the toughness. Exactly what we did with Gelch, but I think probably a better version.
Yeah, definitely more upside, and and also just seemingly a little bit better of an attitude. The whole Gelch signing in Arizona when the Leafs offered him apparently over $1 million doesn't make too much sense to me. So
I want to say they didn't offer it. I have this weird feeling that they didn't, because like the guy signed a fucking PTO in Arizona.
It does seem like a lot of money to give to a guy. Like, I would be like, if they tried to sign him to league min and he was like, no, I'm going to try my luck elsewhere, I could see it. If it was true that it was 1.2.
No, I heard 1, which is technically a pay cut by $50,000. Maybe that has to do with it. Like, I played well for you and I'm getting a pay cut, but it's like, buddy, you're going to Arizona.
Yeah, I think this is probably his last season. But
the best thing in Arizona is like Del Taco. Like Jack in the Box.
Wow, all of our Arizona fans have now tuned out.
Well, Arizona doesn't even have fans. You think we have fans? No fucking way.
What do you guys think of Simmons on the first line? You think you keep that for the entire time that Marner's out?
Why not?
You said probably not?
I said why not?
Oh, okay. So what about Marner's 3-4 weeks, is it?
Really?
From now.
Do you think that when Mikheyev comes back, they're going to be like, hey, man, you wanted these top 6 minutes. Here's your spot up next with Austin Matthews and Michael Bunting. I know you're shaking your head, but what do you think Keefe does?
I feel like he would. Like, that's why we kept him.
I hope it's one of those things where it's like, all right, coach, I can do it. It's like, all right, Tommy, good luck. And Tommy just fucking gets embarrassed. And Tommy never asks to play on the top line anymore. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, buddy, good luck. Come on, Ilya, go get him. And then he gets back to the bench. He goes, no. And then you go, because Tommy, back to the third line you go.
What if he does well and then Mitch comes back? It's like, oh, all right, to the third line. He goes, yeah, but look at me.
Buddy, Mitch's dad would learn fucking Russian to tell Ilya to get back to the third line.
Well, here's the other thing too, is Richie has looked like he's found a place on that third line. Not to mention he's played with Kasha in Anaheim a couple of years ago. Got his first goal the other night. So does Mikheyev take Richie's spot on that third line? Like, where does this guy even go? Because you're not moving Kerfoot, you're not moving Bunting. You better not move Bunting because he's been awesome.
No, I don't think they do that.
So and does Richie, do you put him on the fourth line? He looked okay there, but like he's been doing well on the third line. He seems to be keeping up.
I know this doesn't sound like a fun way to have a conversation, but someone's probably going to get hurt. I think
Right.
it's going to right itself. I
Right,
think
but
these things.
But if
let's
it's-
just talk
we could be
ideal
we could-
lineup.
I think the ideal lineup might even be having Richie on that fourth line.
With Spezza Simmons.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
it's just so
slow fourth line.
slow.
Especially when other people's fourth lines are
Slow.
kind of starting to be fast, not as much skill. You know, you want to at least somewhat be able to keep up to them. That's why I don't mind Engvall down there. He's looked good on the fourth line. That's why I just feel like Mikheyev is, well, we've always kind of felt he's a little bit expendable, especially with how good our penalty kills looked without him. You know, that was the one thing where for me, I was like, he's always looked good on the penalty kill. He's got a lot of speed. He can get some chances, which he's going to miss the net or shoot right at the goalie's pads. But like now that our penalty kill is looking, I think we're eighth in the league.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's
top 10 for sure. Like, where does this guy go? Especially someone who doesn't like where he deserves to be.
Yeah, there's no way he says yeah to the fourth line, but he needs to go there.
Yeah.
Shit.
And also putting Richie at $2.5 million on the fourth line, whereas Mikheyev's making $1 million less. Like, you got to think about that also with the cap hit. And if we have a perfect lineup and everyone's in, there's going to be issues with that cap number. So
Are you gonna start kind of making like different lineups based off different teams you face and like different scenarios, right?
I guess
these guys can sit, right? Like
I don't know if I like.
I think Engvall is just out in general, right?
Do you think?
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of it, but the last couple weeks.
Yeah, who do you bump?
Well, like Simmons can be you can make Simmons Spezza. Those Simmons Spezza plus one can be basically two guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the difference between Engvall and Mikheyev for me, because I think they're somewhat similar players. Mikheyev has a little bit better skill, but Engvall can win draws and play center. And when you're looking at our center depth, it is a little bit weak on after our first three, you know, and especially for the playoffs, if there is any injuries, that's when a guy like Engvall comes in handy, because who else do you have even in the minors to come up and play that center position?
Well, you don't have Alex Brooks or Adam Brooks. And you
exactly.
have Semyonov. So
you have Engvall.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and that's utility, unless you want to make a deadline move. And Riley Nash was just claimed off way first by Tampa.
Are we even gonna make a deadline move?
I honestly hope that we don't. I'm good with this team.
Keep my first round pick, please.
Yeah.
Right. Like unless like Mrazek and Wall end up both kind of being shit somehow, or like whatever, maybe you grab like a backup goalie, but like that'd be it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think something bad would have to happen.
So do we think Hall and Dermott are both staying?
70.
Yeah,
actually, technically, do we have 8 now?
With Rubens, yeah, he looked all right. He looked
okay.
good.
Never mind. No, we have 7.
Yeah,
but no, keep 7. Right? Like when someone gets hurt, how nice is to be like, oh, we're not fucked.
Well, here's the other thing too to consider, and I know we're going way into the weeds, but and I know I'm obsessed with Mark. I'm obsessed with Mark Giordano, but Seattle's not making the playoffs. He's expiring contract. We're gonna have room by the end of the season, especially if anyone's on IR. You trade Dermott and a 3rd round pick for Mark Giordano. You slot him on. Your defense is best in the league.
I'm fine if Dermott or Hall is somehow getting packaged for another defenseman. I think that's it.
Well, and here's the other thing to consider too, is like if you trade Dermott,
somehow package one of the shitty bottom 6s for a better version of the bottom 6.
But
right.
Oh, right. But like I like Kasha. I like Kampf.
I like our bottom 6.
Spezza, Simmons. Yeah. The other 2 are just guys that you put in there.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about things from a team which this Kraken are going to be a little bit, they're not the Vegas Golden Knights. They're going to be rebuilding. They're going to need young guys to come up and play good minutes. Look at Nate Schmidt. You could make an argument that him and Dermott are a little bit similar. Dermott Nate Schmidt was Dermott in Washington.
Schmidt's got more term, like 5.8.
I'm just
years stuff.
right,
Okay.
but before this is when he was taken. Right,
Okay.
he was a guy
right,
who was
yeah.
fringe sixth guy on the Washington Capitals, which was a contending team. They traded him. He played top line minutes with the Golden Knights. He turned into a good player, got a good contract. Dermott put into a higher role where he doesn't have space right now. You clear $1.5 million for next year because you have to re-sign Liljegren and Sandin to fill out that top six. Those are your guys. I don't know, something like that. If you go after a veteran defenseman on an expiring contract, I'm okay with trading a guy like Travis Dermott because you use that money to re-sign Sandin to a bridge deal and Liljegren to either a long-term or bridge deal.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't need like is anyone even interested in like names like Philip Forsberg and stuff? Like I'm gonna shut the fuck up and obviously say if we trade for him, I'm gonna be ecstatic. But like
I'll be excited.
Who do you
it's
trade
not
for?
like I want him.
Who do you do?
Well, the thing is, I don't want to trade any fucking first or second round pick.
It also means you've lost Jack Campbell.
Yes, automatically.
Yeah.
So
and Sandin, and probably Sandin and or Liljegren.
And yeah. So if it's not a draft pick, it's one of them, or like a Mirov, and like no.
Yeah. No, I'm our top six. I'm good with Bunting playing up there. He's going to be a perfect playoff player.
Yeah, he's been everything we wanted.
Yeah.
Well, and like, and two, if this team's playing more like it's playing more like an actual team, I don't want to fuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But like, part of me says that and then goes, "Oh, I'm ready to be disappointed again." Right? Because I just called them a team, and then they're going to somehow find a way to look like a bunch of like. It's gonna
see this year's different for me because I view certain games as games that we lose the last 5 years, and last game against Columbus was one of those games where you come off a tough loss to Minnesota and then you come off getting not embarrassed, but you come off a shit game against Winnipeg and you go against a team that you definitely should beat, and in the past we lose the game to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's just how it always went. And we ended up just demolishing them basically until the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Or like
without Mitch Marner, without Jason Spezza, without Dermott, without Sandin, we did that.
Yeah. And or like the Tampa game reminds me of that too, where we were up 3-1. No, we were down 3-1 and we came back, tied it, went to overtime. I'm like, oh, this is a game we lose in overtime. This is a game we come back, looks amazing, and fucking lose somehow. Mm-hmm. And we won.
Yeah.
So
and even
Winnipeg,
like that. Minnesota, like we're down 3-1 against a really good defensive team, and we come back and tie it. Like this team just seems different. And I'm almost excited for the next few weeks when we are missing some of our main guys to see guys step up and get their shot. And also, we were talking about this at the start of the year. Austin Matthews needs to be a guy that you can plug in any two guys next to, and he's still going to be the best player on the ice. And last few games, even without Mitch Marner, he has been that guy. Yeah. And then you're just adding Mitch Marner to him later on. And it's just like John Tavares isn't that guy anymore. So I like how they've kept Willie and Kerfoot on that. I like how they kept that line super stable because they look awesome. Nylander is almost one of those guys where you can play him with anybody and he's still.
Oh, no. He is.
Yeah. So we have three of those guys.
He to me, dollar for dollar, more than Matthews. Dollar for dollar.
Dollar for dollar.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. Dollar for dollar, more than Matthews. Because you kind of look at dollar for dollar because you look at like Matthews plus $2 million guys equals 15 million. Let's say you want to equate 15 million on Nylander's line. So like 4 and 4 better. Like if you want to look at it like that.
Yeah. But let's move on to our last thing because